All right. Good evening. Welcome back to Mid Michigan Bible Study. My name is Stephen. I am your host. I know I've been doing this for a while, but I realized I probably never properly introduced myself. Um, but my name is Stephen. I will be your host for the next 45 minutes to an hour as we go through uh, the book of Judges, chapter 11 and 12. The reason why I am only doing those two chapters is because starting in chapter 13 is Samson, and Samson spans the about four chapters. So I don't want to split any of Samson up. So we're going to be going through we're just going to be covering Jephthah in this part, and next week we'll be starting in Samson. I'm hoping to get through all of Samson next week, but if not, I will try and split it up evenly at the very least. Um, as usual, when I go live, I usually give a 5 minute grace period to see if one of my friends, Isaac or Joe, is available to come up as a co host. So I'm just going to say a few housekeeping things. Um, Next week, if I do go live, it will be late or it will be Thursday because next week I am going to be uh I'm going to be on vacation, but I won't be getting home until late Wednesday evening Eastern Standard Time. Uh because I will be on vacation with my family to I know this isn't going to sound like much of a vacation to some people, but I personally love the state of Wisconsin, and that's where we're going to be traveling to. We're going to be taking my wife and I are going with my dad, who was born and raised in Wisconsin, uh, and we're going to go with him and my stepmom and my brother to just visit my dad's aunt, my great aunt Madeline. So if I do go live, it'll either be one day late or it'll be just an hour late. I haven't decided yet. I might be extremely tired from the drive. Um, I just want to remind people that there is not only an ongoing war conflict. I'm not. It's a war. But on behalf of Israel, I will say, like the nation state of Israel. But it I think we're just classifying it as a conflict right now because it requires no congressional approval to go to get into a conflict. So, yay for that little what you call it loophole. There is a war in Iran between Iran and Israel and America. Um, I just want to say we should pray for all parties involved, uh, like the civilians and anyone who is in the crossfire. Uh, Pray that whoever comes out on top, that it is God's will. Shouldn't pray that because we know that whoever comes out on top, it is God's will. As we've actually been reading in the book of Judges, is that whoever is taking over, whoever is being delivered into the hands of like the other is God's will doing that. So just pray for whoever, pray for the civilians, make sure that everything goes well, pray that they come out safely. I also want to say pray for Christians in Nigeria. I believe they are still experiencing a genocide from Muslim from a Muslim conquest. So please pray for them. Pray for our brothers and sisters who are being persecuted across the world. And if you live in America, just thank the good Lord that you are not under the same level of persecution that they are. All right. So I did all that, but I didn't actually message my friend Isaac to see if he is available. So I'm going to give it another minute. So 9:07 for sure. We're going live. All right. All right. As you can see below, I have a little ticker tape going through. If you have any questions as I go through this, please feel free to put it in the comment section. I will get to it as fast as I can, and I will try and answer it as best as I can. I would prefer questions that directly relate to the topic at hand, which is uh, Jephthah and the Book of Judges. Um, because Judges 12 is so short, I'm just going to do a little quick recap on everything we've talked to. Basically, the entire Book of Judges up to now, and even going past this, has been a cycle of uh, Israel falling away from God, falling into sin, falling into idolatry, and then they are handed over to another country as judgment against them by God. At which point they repent of their sin, they call out for God, uh, and God sends a savior in the form of a judge, who is not only someone who like in the book of Judges, he's like the judge is not only someone who handles intermediary between Israel's citizens uh, to discuss like what God's will is, but the judge is also a warrior on behalf of God to deliver the people of Israel out of the the oppressing. Sorry, I have an itch on my ear. Oppressing government in power. So last week we read basically just like inner turmoil going on in Israel. We didn't have like we had a few minor judges, and we had a wicked judge by the name of Abimelech, who was actually one of the sons of Gideon, also known as Jerubbaal, and he was basically ruling Israel uh, in place of Jerubbaal after Jerubbaal Gideon passed away. Um, and I think this Abimelech was actually one of the very few, like he was a unique judge in the sense that he was probably like he was the one of the few wicked judges that kind of abused the office of judge. Like he like he worshipped I don't know, actually I need to go back and look at that because I don't actually know if he was an idolater, but he was definitely a wicked judge and he had to be dealt with. Like I think in Judges 9, we actually read that he is uh like at the end of Judges 9 or at the end of Judges 10, I can't remember, that he had to be delivered out of like his evil had to be dealt with. All right. So with that being said, we're just gonna get right into it. Um, sorry. All right. Now Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty warrior, but he was the son of a prostitute. Gilead was the father of Jephthah, and Gilead's wife also bore him sons. And when his wife's sons grew up, they drove Jephthah out and said to him, "You shall not have an inheritance in our father's house, for you are the son of another woman." Then Jephthah fled from his brothers and lived in the land of Tob. And worthless fellows collected around Jephthah and went out with him. All right. We actually discussed this particular word uh, last week with worthless fellows. It's more or less as a for like a way to rebuke like the people that accumulate around you. Like I'm gonna have to go to the commentary, and this is why I like Bible Hub. All right. Worthless, literally empty, describes the disenfranchised like the debt-ridden men who rallied to David at Adullam. Uh, oh, that's interesting. So a few weeks ago, I halfway finished a study on uh, typology, and I never made this connection uh, like that become a refuge for the rejected, foreshadowing Christ, who drew tax collectors and sinners. Um, I'm actually very curious because last week it kind of implied that the worthless men were not disenfranchised, but like just wicked in general. Uh, So compared to that, this is a different form of worthless. All right, sorry about that. My wife came down to get the baby monitor for me. All right, good timing though. Anyway, after a time, the Ammonites made war against Israel. And when the Ammonites made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to bring Jephthah from the land of Tob. They said to Jephthah, "Come and be our leader, that we may fight against the Ammonites." So that's a little bit of irony right there. He gets cast out from his father's house to because he was not like he was basically stepbrother, not stepbrother, sorry, um, half brother, like not worthy of inheritance. And he's going to go on and say that, but um, he was kicked out because he was not the full blood with his brothers. And now that the Ammonites have made war against them, they're coming to get him. And this is kind of symbolic of the Book of Judges because uh, like they rebuke him and they go against him, they kick him out. Basically, what they do to God, they kick out God, and then they like someone comes in to oppress them. The Ammonites are coming in to oppress them, and they go and say, "Hey, please save us." But Jephthah said to the leaders of Gilead, "Did you not hate me and drive me out of my father's house? Why have you come to me now when you are in distress?" And the elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, "That is why we have turned to you now, that you may go with us and fight against the Ammonites and be our head over all the inhabitants of Gilead." Jephthah said to the elders of Gilead, If you bring me home again to fight against the Ammonites, and the Lord gives them over to me, I will be your head." And the elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, "The Lord will be the witness between us if we do not do as you say." So Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head and leader over them. And Jephthah spoke all his words before the Lord at Mizpah. So we're already seeing vows being made. And there's a reason why I call this part Jephthah and his tragic vow. It's not because of what is being said here, but we see that um we see that Jephthah has been dealt with negatively. Like he was kicked out of his father's house, and now they're trying to bring him in as the leader, uh if for nothing, if for nothing else, potentially as a form of uh like a scapegoat in case the Ammonites come against them, and they come in and they try and just take over, and they kill the leader, who would be Jephthah if he takes over. So we already see, like, hey, I'll do this if this happens. Like it's very transactional. Like we see Jephthah making vows because he's already been dealt with negatively once. He doesn't want to be dealt with negatively again. And I'm very curious if that's what's going to be said in the commentary. Because all right. Jephthah does not give him. He pauses to question the elders. His past rejection makes him cautious. He wants clarity before committing. Similar to Moses' hesitation, Scripture places value on counting the cause before action. Jephthah exemplifies prudent leadership, ensuring that this invitation is genuine and not another slight. Shows that reconciliation involves tangible steps, not mere words. The immediate crisis with Ammon underscores how God uses conflict to restore broken relationships. Victory is attributed to the Lord, never to human strength. This is why I go into the commentary, because I didn't even think about that. This is not the first time either. Jephthah's wording echoes earlier judges like Deborah and Barak, who declared, "Has not the Lord gone out before you?" This confession of dependence aligns with Proverbs 21:31. The horse is prepared for the day of battle, but victory is of the Lord. I like that. I'm. It doesn't say it, but like I'm viewing this as like he's already making vows. He's saying, "I will be your head if the Ammonites are given over to me." So it's foreshadowing another vow he's going to make. Not in any sense, but like he's making vows hastily, and we're actually going to see that later. Then Jephthah sent messengers to the king of the Ammonites and said, "What do you have against me that you have come to me to fight against my land?" And the king of the Ammonites answered the messengers of Jephthah, "Because Israel, on coming up from Egypt, took away my land, from the Arnon to the Jabbok and to the Jordan. Now therefore restore it peaceably." Jephthah again sent messengers to the king of the Ammonites and said to him, "Thus says Jephthah, Israel did not take away the land of Moab or the land of the Ammonites. But when they came up from Egypt, Israel went through the wilderness to the Red Sea and came to Kadesh. Israel then sent messengers to the king of Edom, saying, 'Please let us pass through your land.' But the king of Edom would not listen. And they sent also to the land of to the king of Moab, but he would not consent. So Israel remained at Kadesh. Then they journeyed through the wilderness and went around the land of Edom and the land of Moab, and arrived on the east side of the land of Moab and camped on the other side of the Arnon. But they did not enter the territory of Moab, for the Arnon was the boundary of Moab. Israel then sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Amorites, king of Heshbon, and Israel said to him, 'Please let us pass through your land to our country.' But Sihon did not trust Israel to pass through his territory. So Sihon gathered all his people together and encamped at Jahaz and fought. Sorry. And fought with Israel. And the Lord, the God of Israel, gave Sihon and all his people into the hand of Israel, and they defeated him. So Israel took possession of all the land of the Amorites who inhabited that country. They took possession of all the territory of the Amorites from the Arnon to the Jabbok, and from the wilderness to the Jordan. So then the Lord, the God of Israel, dispossessed the Amorites from before his people Israel, and are you to take possession of them? Will you not possess what Shemash your God gives you to possess? And all that the Lord our God has dispossessed before us, we will possess. Now are you any better than Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab? Did he ever contend against Israel, or did he ever go to war with them? While Israel lived in Heshbon and its villages, and in Aroer and its villages, and in all the cities that are on the banks of the Arnon, 300 years. Why did you not deliver them within that time? I therefore have not sinned against you, and you do me no wrong by making war on me. The Lord, the judge, decide this day between the people of Israel and the people of Ammon. But the king of the Ammonites did not listen to the words of Jephthah that he sent to him. All right, I know that was a lot to unpack, but basically, it seems like uh, it seems like the king of Ammon is making a claim, uh, like a claim on the land, and saying like, "Hey, you guys took my land from me. I'm trying to take it back." And Jephthah legitimately is just saying like just giving a history lesson, like, "No, that's not how it happened. Like we know how it happened. We've kept better record. Like we've kept the record of this. We know what happened." Uh, and the best way I can think to describe it is if any of you have uh like when the war between Russia and Ukraine, if the war between Russia and Ukraine started, like when it started, Tucker Carlson went to Russia to interview Vladimir Putin, and he actually gave like a whole like Putin actually gave like a whole history lesson on like why he has a claim on the land of the Ukraine, which I that's all I could think of while I was like reading all of this. It's like, hey, you made this claim, but like here's my claim, like here's my response. Like we we've been here for 300 years. Why did you not take it back in that time? Like you would do the same thing in our position. And like if your God gave you like to possess this land, he would have done it. And our God has already done this. The Lord our God has already done this. So like in all that time, why didn't you ever try and take it back? Then the spirit of the Lord was upon Jephthah, and he passed through Gilead and Manasseh, and passed on to Mizpah of Gilead. And from Mizpah of Gilead, he passed on to the Ammonites. And Jephthah made a vow to the Lord and said, "If you will give the Ammonites into my hand, then whatever comes out from the doors of my house to meet me when I return in peace from the Ammonites shall be the Lord's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering." So Jephthah crossed over to the Ammonites to fight against them, and the Lord gave them into his hand. And he struck them from Aroer to the neighborhood of Minnith, 20 cities, and as far as Abel Keramim, with a great blow. So the Ammonites were subdued before the people of Israel. All right. I'm going to see if I can find it in the commentary, but uh, vows were accepted, serious acts of worship. The reason I want to talk about this is because I believe it's in the Sermon on the Mount, but I'm hoping I can find it easier. Yeah. Yeah. Vows should spring from faith, not manipulation. God values integrity over negotiation. And just as I said, all right, it's in 537 ESV. I like the ESV. So in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus speaks of oaths. Again, you have heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not swear falsely, but shall perform to the Lord what you have sworn. But I say to you, do not take an oath at all, either by heaven, for it is the throne of God, or by the earth, for it is the footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. And do not take an oath by your head, for you cannot make one hair white or black. Let what you say be simply yes or no. Anything more than this comes from evil. So basically, is saying, like, don't, like, he's, like, Jesus is basically saying, don't make foolish vows. Like, you can't negotiate my will. The thing about all this is that Jephthah, it was already promised into Jephthah's hands. Like, the Ammonites were already promised to be handed over to Jephthah by the Lord. So his vow was foolish. He didn't need to make this vow, but he did anyway. And because of that, he is legally bound to the Lord to offer whatever comes out to him when he returns home as a burnt offering. And this is why it is a tragic vow. Then Jephthah came to his home at Mizpah, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him with tambourines and with dances. She was his only child. Besides her, he had neither son nor daughter. And as soon as he saw her, he tore his clothes and said, Alas, my daughter, you have brought me very low. You have become the cause of great trouble to me, for I have opened my mouth to the Lord, and I cannot take back my vow. And she said to him, My father, you have opened your mouth to the Lord. Do to me according to what has gone out of your mouth. Now that the Lord has avenged you on your enemies, on the Ammonites. So she said to her father, Let this thing be done for me. Leave me alone 2 months, that I may go up and down on the mountains and weep for my virginity, I and my companions. So he said, Go. Then he sent her away for 2 months, and she departed. She and her companions wept for her virginity on the mountains. At the end of 2 months, she returned to her father, who did it with her according to his vow that he had made. She had never known a man, and it became custom in Israel that the daughters of Israel went year by year to lament the daughter of Jephthah, the Gileadite, 4 days in the year. So, one thing that we can take away from this is that despite this vow, despite this tragic and terrible, like, foolish vow being made, um, the daughter remained faithful. Like, she knew what it meant, and she still said, "Let it be according to your word." Like, you've already spoken, you've already made the vow. We can't take it back now. I will I will take this. I will take what you have said, as you have said it. So she remained faithful, even knowing what it meant for her. And she asked one condition. Um, ow. On top of that, it's one of those things that we do as a people. Like, how many times a day do you say to yourself, like, I swear to God, I swear to God, if this happens, like, I swear to God, if that happens, I swear to God, if this is true, I swear to God. Like, how many times do we say that in a day, in a year? Like, we say these things, but we don't follow through on them because, like, we don't think we're actually making vows. We don't see any sort of, uh, I don't know, follow through. Like, I try, like, I've tried not saying it. It's very difficult. I've tried, um I've tried being a little more careful with my words too, and I try not to say I swear to God as much. I'll maybe say I swear, not necessarily to God. I just throw it out there. I swear, and like it almost sounds foolish when I'm not like swearing to a specific like thing. Like I'm not swearing to God. Like who am I swearing this to? Like who's going to follow through on this if not God? Um, so we have to think like we have to remember that just because we don't have the same like we make just because we don't make the same vows, like you have to think about what you're doing in the moment when you say, "I swear to God, if the Rams beat the Steelers, I'm going to flip my shit." Excuse my language. I didn't finish that word, but um for one, I think it's a ridiculous thing to say because I don't know how frequently the Rams and the Steelers come face to face. I'm pretty sure one's AFC and the other's NFC, so it doesn't make much of a difference otherwise. Um, I don't know actually. I'm not going to check the schedule, but I want to check the schedule now to see if they face off against each other. Um, anyway, like we have to be careful about making these foolish vows because there's I get there's no point in making them. Like what purpose does it serve to say something like that? And you might say something foolish like someone's gonna take you up on it. It's like if you say something really stupid, especially when you're uh like if you're at someone's house and you're watching the game with them and you say like, "Oh, I swear that if uh my team loses, I'm I don't know what I'll do, but," and they're like, "Oh, I got a suggestion. If your team loses, you do this." I'm like, "Sure, whatever." And then they lose, and like you're expected to do it now. Like we have to be careful with our words. Like we shouldn't make foolish vows. Like let it be yes or let it be no. Anything more is evil. All right, like I said, this is a much shorter chapter than I expected. In fact, the first seven are about Jephthah, and the other is three minor judges that I've never even heard of. All right, so the men of Ephraim were called to arms, and they crossed to Zaphon and said to Jephthah, "Why did you cross over to fight against the Ammonites and did not call us to go with you? We will burn your house over you with fire." And Jephthah said to them, "I and my people had a great dispute with the Ammonites, and when I called you, you did not save me from their hand. And when I saw that you would not save me, I took my life in my hand and crossed over against the Ammonites, and the Lord gave them into my hand. Why then have you come to me this day to fight against me?" Then Jephthah gathered all the men of Gilead and fought with Ephraim. And the men of Gilead struck Ephraim because they said, "You are fugitives of Ephraim, you Gileadites, in the midst of Ephraim and Manasseh." And the Gileadites captured the fords of the Jordan against the Ephraimites. And when any of the fugitives of Ephraim said, "Let me go over," the men of Gilead said to him, "Are you an Ephraimite?" When he said no, they said to him, "Then say Shibboleth." And he said, "Sibboleth." What is going on here? For he could not pronounce it right. Then they seized him and slaughtered him at the fords of the Jordan. At that time, 42,000 of the Ephraimites fell. Jephthah judged Israel 6 years. Then Jephthah the Gileadite died and was buried in his city in Gilead. I am so confused by this right here. I really want to know the context, the commentary on this. Please say Shibboleth. The Gileadite guards, loyal to Judge Jephthah, controlled the fords of the Jordan after conflict erupted within the tribe of Ephraim. They used a simple spoken test to distinguish friend from foe, much like Israelite forces guarded the Jordan crossing against their enemies. Scripture often shows the importance of a spoken confession in revealing allegiance. If he said Sibboleth, because he could not pronounce it correctly. Ephraim's dialect lacked the sh sound, turns shibboleth into sibboleth. A single consonant exposed their hidden identity, illustrating how small words uncover the heart. The test was fair and literal. It seemed revealed factual tribal origin, affirming that God's providence can work through ordinary details. This is that's actually really funny. Like that's really funny to me. Like they did this to something so simple. Ugh. All right. After him, Ibzan of Bethlehem judged Israel. He had 30 sons and 30 daughters he gave in marriage outside his clan, and 30 daughters he brought in from the outside for his sons. And he judged Israel 7 years. Then Ibzan died and was buried at Bethlehem. After him, Elon the Zebulunite judged Israel, and he judged Israel for 10 years. Then Elon the Zebulunite died and was buried at Aijalon in the land of Zebulun. After him, Abdon the son of Hillel, the Pirathonite, judged Israel. He had 40 sons and 30 grandsons who rode on 70 donkeys, and he judged Israel 8 years. Then Abdon, the son of Hillel the Pirathonite, died and was buried at Pirathon in the land of Ephraim, in the hill country of the Amalekites. What exactly does this mean? Like when it says they rode on 70 donkeys. In the ancient Near East, donkeys were the preferred mounts of nobility and judges. Though humbler than horses, they symbolized peaceful authority, anticipating the messianic image of the king arriving on a colt, the foal of the donkey. 70 mounts underscore wealth and order. Each son and grandson had his own animal, conveying a united family entourage ready to administer justice across scattered Israelite towns. Okay, that makes sense. That's actually wild to me that of these three, like of these three, Jephthah actually judged Israel for the least amount of time, but Jephthah is the uh, like most well known of these four. What you call it? Yeah, 8 years, 10 years, and 7 years. Like, was that 25 years between the three of them? All right. Anyway, that is the end because starting next week, we'll be going into the birth of Samson. Um, I do want to, and I'm not fully sure. I'm not actually like fully sure how much of this is true, but I once heard that Jairus, the and I'm going to see if I can find. No, I'm not sure how true this is because I remember like it might simply be like not true. Like, but from what I heard, Jairus is who. All right, I'm just gonna heal the. Like I'm just gonna read. Like I'm just gonna read about this because I really quickly. Um, while he was still speaking, there came from the ruler's house some who said, "Your daughter is dead. Why trouble the teacher any further?" But overhearing what they said, Jesus said to the ruler of the synagogue, "Do not fear, only believe." And he allowed no one to follow him except Peter and James and John, the brother of James. They came to the house of the ruler of the synagogue, and Jesus saw commotion, people weeping and wailing loudly. And when he had entered, he said to them, "Why are you making a commotion and weeping? The child is not dead, but sleeping." And they laughed at him, but he put them all outside and took the child's father and mother and those who were with him and went in uh, where the child was. Taking her by the hand, he said to her, "Talitha cumi," which means, "Little girl, I say to you, arise." Immediately the girl got up and began walking, for she was 12 years of age. And they were immediately overcome with amazement. And he strictly charged them that no one should know this, and told them to give her something to eat. All right. So this is why I say I'm not sure how true this is. But Jairus, who is the ruler of the house that we just discussed, the father of the dead girl, the sleeping girl. Um, Again, not sure how true this is. I'm gonna have to look into it more. I heard that he is from Gilead, like he's a Gileadite, and similarly, his daughter is on the brink of death. His daughter is dying, and he instead of making a vow, he comes to Jesus, and I believe it was what, yeah, 23, and implored him earnestly, saying, "My little daughter is at the point of death. Come and lay your hands on her, so that she may be made well and live." And he went with him. So the the similarity here is where Jephthah lacked faith and made a foolish vow, a tragic vow, believing that he needed to make this vow in order to ensure that his victory would come. This other Gileadite came to the Lord and said, "I know you can do this. I know you've already done this. Like, just if you like, please come do this because I know you can." And we even see right here in verse 36, Jesus, like he's told that his daughter is dead. And Jesus just says, "Don't worry, just believe. Trust me, like trust in me the same way that you trusted in me when you first came to me, and I will do this for you." And this man, this potentially Gileadite, has that faith, and uh, his daughter is returned to him. Whereas Jephthah lacked faith, and his daughter was taken from him. Where does it say Jephthah? Sorry, not Jephthah. Jairus. Does it say that? 22. Oh, Jairus by name. I didn't even see that. Jairus meaning he enlightens, subtly foreshadows the light Christ is about to bring into his dark crisis. By name and mark grounds the narrative in time, place, and real history, underscoring the accuracy of the gospel record. See, I'm gonna have to look it up on my own because I don't want to spend too much time boring y'all looking this up. But I've heard that, and I want to just make sure of it. But um, all I'm going to say is that don't make don't make foolish vows thinking that God owes you something. Like, don't make foolish vows to try and assure that God will give you what you asked of Him. Like, if it is in God's will, He has already done it for you. And the parallel here is Jairus already knows that uh, his daughter going to be is going to be made well. I mean, you even look at his language here. Come and lay your hands on her so that she may be made well and live. Like he already believes that this can like that Jesus can do this for him. And Jesus reassures him, like, I can do this for you. Just believe in me. And you have to imagine just what was going through his head when he heard Jesus say, it's like, why are you making motion? Like, why are you being so loud? She's not dead. She's just asleep up there. Quiet down. We don't want to wake her. But you just have to remember that we need to put our faith in Christ. We need to put our faith in God. He will act accordingly. Like he will do what we entrust him to do. But we have to remember that he's it is his will. We can plead to his will, but if we make an oath, we're making an oath foolishly. He's not going to. I mean, let's actually go back to Matthew 5 because I can't remember the exact wording, but what does he say specifically? Do not take an oath by your head, for you cannot make one hair white or black. Like don't make foolish oaths because there's nothing that you can negotiate. There's nothing you can do to negotiate with God. You cannot make your hair black or white by negotiate like by making these oaths. So just trust in God. Let it be simple, yes or no. And that's what I implore you guys to do, like to remember as we go forward. Um, as we go forward through the next week, just put your trust in God. Like pray, give him thanks, give him the reverence he deserves because he is good. And I pray that you uh, just put your trust in him, and he will do what he finds fit accordingly. Um. Anyway, that's going to end the stream. I was hoping my friend Isaac would pop on at some point because there is, in fact, uh, a story that I want him to share because he's got it silly. I'm going to also have to block this guy in-house Blackbird R because I don't want to see those comments anymore. I am not going to go to streamboo.com. I don't want to see those comments anymore. If I see those comments, I'm going to block you. So I have to go to Twitch right now and block you. I know I'm going to do this live to make sure that I find you and I block you. All right. All right. You're blocked. I don't want to ever see comments like this again. I don't ever want to see anyone saying, hey, you can get more views. If this channel grows at all, it's going to grow naturally. I don't really care if it grows, if it's not natural. I'm not going to buy any sort of viewers. I'm not going to do that. So I don't want to see those comments ever again. I pray that you have a blessed life, but I don't ever want to see that comment again. God bless and go in peace, my friend.